All right, here at 2312 Burns in Overland. I'm going to give you a little shot of the neighborhood here. Just straight down here is downtown Overland where the city hall and a lot of shops and things are. A lot of vacant shops too, but that's downtown. Just a block or so from Woodson, the main artery that goes through town. And there's our subject property for today. Looks like a lot of, a few older houses, some post-World War II houses, some 1940s, 50s, see a cinder block foundation there. And some of these little places that pop up might be pretty good sized rental part of town. This one's got a big yard. The first thing I noticed coming in is we're at the bottom of the little gully, or the little bottom of the, kind of in a valley. And you see this drainage ditch back here. That's a good thing that's in this. Here you probably have an easement. So you see the sewer line there goes straight back to that, I forget what they call it, like four-way intake drain. But we'll see if this foundation has a basement or anything, or a crawl space, or what that looks like to the basement walls. This is a garage here. We'll go around back. Siding's in good shape, looks newer. Probably just recently done. Be nice to have this downspout here going out somewhere, but to do that you'd have to bury it under this driveway. And there's your garage tucked under, so it's not a crawl space, it's a little tucked under garage, but it's barely 6 feet tall, so truck won't fit, the car might. Little redbud tree here in the back, big backyard. I always look at the tree work too, because see, tree work can cost you. These catalpa trees, that's the shorter one you see that I'm going to zoom in on right there if I can. That's a catalpa that looks like it has a green bean tree, and they are like weeds. When you got those, the birds drop those everywhere, and you wind up with them in your flower beds and all over. But they're good shade trees. They look like they're dead in the winter. They look like almost a little scary. This tree here, you can see, has some limbs that are kind of coming down. None of them are close to the house. That's a good sign. This little mound here that they've built up, not quite sure what's going on there. They're throwing down some mulch though, makes it look nice. Painted, you got a 3-tab roof. And so the 3-tab is the older, more standard way of doing roofs up until about 20 years ago. I don't have a good example to point out. But a 3-tab roof is flat, and the shingles lay in a brick pattern flat onto the roof. In a little bit thicker shingle, better shingle, is an architectural. This conforms to all of the houses in the neighborhood, so this roof, I don't know if I can't show you, it's too far away. But it looks like the roof has some age on it. We'll look at the disclosure, see if they give us any indication of that. The deck's put together well, it appears. Probably a DIY job though, because they're using the wrong screws in that footer. Should be a specific type of nail. New service. The service line's been raised so you can't reach up and grab it. You got a sidewalk going all the way around. Nice big air conditioner unit. Slider door into the kitchen. Fire pit or toddler holding area, whatever you want to use that as. That might actually be a water feature that's just not being used right now because the whole sky is a water feature. And then we'll go back around here rather than circling around because I can get to the front door from here, and we'll pause while we go inside. Okay, front porch looks really nice. It's painted deck board with that's covered. Nice light fixture there. Good spacious seating area. These big trees here. Now this is an oak tree. I'm going to point this out because you'll see this all over. This is infected. There's little crusty kind of things. Almost looks like it's got sweet gum balls on it. Those crusty things do fall. It's a bacterial infection in the tree, and this one's just about shot. So you can see all the branches going down. It's not very healthy. Gonna take a quick look and see how tall he is. He's looming close by, but he's not hanging over the house. At least the limbs are really short, but it hasn't been deadwooded in a while. I mean, the tree guys actually have to disinfect their tools when they're done with that. And I mentioned it because it's pretty pricey to take out a tree. There, it's all over. You see it all over South County, North County, and they, could last for a while. I don't know that you have to be taken out, but it's worth asking a tree company what they think on it. All right, so we're gonna walk in and see what we have behind the blue door. It's an older house, so there's a lot of little additions, but some of them are pretty nice. This original wood floor in here, nice window seat, open windows. They're original, they're single pane, probably original to the house with storm windows on the other side. It doesn't give me any real concern because you're over a garage. This is really a 3-season room. There's no heating, cooling to it. So you're not going to want to be out there in the dead of winter or the heat of summer probably. Dining area next to the stairs. I would probably use that as a sitting area, but it is open. They've opened up this doorway here. You probably saw in the pictures. Walking around to the left to get into the kitchen, and then swinging right from the kitchen is the bathroom. Full bath, new tile, vinyl plank floors. Look really nice and new. The bedroom. Mirrored closets. The lights on for dramatic effect. And a linen area there, full bath, a shower stall. Still has little dual handle faucets, which is just fine, or hasn't been upgraded. You got a vent and a separate heater. So back in the day, those heating wasn't so good in the old houses like this. Probably doesn't have any insulation in it. It's the age of it. Tough place to store your bowling ball collection. The floors aren't exactly even, but they never are in a house like this. So if you like plumb walls and even floors, this is probably not a place for you. Kitchen's very roomy. Got a lot of room in here. You can hear the echo. Lots of counter space, not pretentious. I like the fact that they didn't try to go granite and all that fancy stuff. It's just got what you should have. It's got laminate. It's got nice cabinets. They look good. White. Tile backsplash. Micro hood. And electric oven. We'll have to see if we have gas in this house. But double hung. These are double pane windows. So when I say double pane, you can kind of tell they've got the little interior thing. They're sealed. A little bit more insulated than a original window would be. It's vinyl windows that you can pull in and clean. So very nice. Around here now, we're gonna go upstairs. It's a rainy day and it's only in the 70s. So it feels pretty comfortable in here. Thermostat's set at 73, so. I mention that because these dormer, that's too short. I'm 6'5" and I just hit my head coming up here. That's barely 6 feet. You come to the top of the stairs. An old aluminum window upstairs. These dormer rooms are really tough to heat and cool. So, and this is not 7 feet high. To be a bedroom, you really need 7 feet. You need a closet. You need 70 square feet of space with 7 feet ceilings. Not quite sure this qualifies, even though that's how they describe it. But it's got a nice little area for anybody under 6'5". You almost always have to have a window unit or some kind of supplemental heating and cooling up here, because these dormers are, it's tough to insulate. They get really hot in summer, really cool in the winter, and you've got 2 floor vents. That's it. That's your HVAC for the upstairs. So I'm going to be a little critical and call that out. I think this is not really anything you're going to want to be in most of the summer. It's going to be pretty hot. So there's a roof. I would say, it's wet, so it's kind of really tough to call, but it's starting to turn up a little bit. I'm going to say that roof is at or near its useful life. And my best guess, so I always defer to a roofer or inspector for that, because I'm not an expert. And here's your floor vents. A little tough to call to see. You got ceiling fans going. There's usually a reason. Okay, now we see the age of the building because we're getting down to the basement. This was built before they put a whole lot of thought into the basement. That's your water service into the house, and of course your gas meter. That is copper, preferable to galvanized. You don't see too much of that in the house. This new, but so it's really a stacked stone brick foundation that's mortared over. There's under the porch here, so you do have storage. It's dank, and you can see this is wet. Those boards are wet, so not someplace you want to store anything you really like. I don't know about these supports. I've seen them all over, especially in a house like this. So this beam's been added. It's not attached to anything. I saw this in the pictures. You got 3 of them holding the house up. So it's doing something. And these are kind of temporary, but they seem to be sufficient. I've not seen anybody kick that back in an occupancy or say that they're not to code. They don't look very permanent, but I guess they're permanent enough. 100 amp panel, plenty of circuitry on there. There's your main switch. Nothing to do there. Furnace and water heater aren't the newest. A little bit of leftover something there. And the concrete, and then you got to walk out, or this door to the garage, which might work. There's a walk out to the back, maybe. Furnace and water heater. So this furnace doesn't even have a label on it. Some exhaust vent there. This water heater. It's hard to tell on water heaters until you get the actual until you look at the actual, if they have the date on it. Sometimes they look older, sometimes they don't. For the serial number, this would be 08. But I don't see the actual date on it. Probably looking right at it. PVC stack that goes out the side. That's better than an old cast iron stack that's rotted through, so that's good news. The furnace doesn't look brand new, neither does the water heater. There's copper service going in, you can see there. And then your laundry over on this side. I guess we can highlight that. You got electric dryer vent there. And here's why I say this is probably stacked stone, is because this missing mortar here on this side of the actual basement. Here's your garage. Step up into that garage. That's about 6.5 feet. And just a few hornets' nests, not too many. And ready for your shelving right there. So this is definitely not a walkout because it's closed. There's your stack. And that's a Fern Cove fitting that's not in any kind of code that's going to kicked out. So that's cast iron. That's what cast iron looks like right about the time it goes bad. At some point they brought in this PVC that's black, which you usually don't see only in like the 70s. You got some white coming towards it in this crawl space here. And you know, my only comment of this space, which you can't really see on camera, is it's a dirt floor with wood beams. You know, it's not an immediate need, but at some point I'd put a moisture barrier down there just because that moisture builds and you wind up with rotted boards. I've seen floors caved in from it. This wafer board wall there, that looks like a toilet flange, so probably at one time it was either an outside drain before they built all this in, because that looks like it at one time was the exterior. Got lost, now I'm not even sure what I'm under. Looks like I'm under the extension to the addition to the kitchen. That might have been a floor drain back here once upon a time. A little hard to tell when a house has been added to so many times over the years. All right, well, that's about it. You know how to get a hold of me. Any questions, any further questions about it, happy to answer. Yeah, let me know. Let me know if it's something that interests you.